When it comes to the center, rat holes are hidden everywhere, so we proudly present top 3 all-time best rat holes on the center with full base designs. This video is sponsored by My Servers Deluxe. Deluxe is a 3x server with 5x matching and 3x experience. Deluxe has 6-man tribes, ORP, new player protection, raid warning, and so much more. Here at Deluxe, we ensure that you have an amazing experience with lag-free servers. Servers are now live, link in the description. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 33.1 latitude and 58.6 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over in the jungle's mid-region, actually over here on the left side of it. And anyways, this rat hole is pretty much hidden in plain sight. As you can see here, there's a giant kind of pyramid looking natural terrain kind of thing over here, and down at the bottom is a tiny little crouch entrance. And this crouch entrance opens up into a pretty decently sized rat hole. This rat hole has a good amount of room and you can fit a ton of stuff in here. The only downside is that it is right on a spawn point, so being pretty level with a spawn point and all that doesn't really work out the best, so that's why we have it kind of at number 3, but it still makes for an amazing spot because there's no cave damage. So as long as you can build this right and you put some defenses maybe on the outside, it'll really make for an amazing spot. So we're definitely going to be doing maybe 3 different layers with this base because we kind of have to add a lot more room up here, but let's see what we can do. Now here is the full base design. As you can see, for this one, we decided to not build on the outside, as that really gives away the spot. However, it is highly recommended. Now starting here on the inside, we have this entire thing foundation stacked basically so that it'll take a while for somebody to actually get rid of all your foundations. On the outside we have a ton of heavies, and then over here we have a nice little double doorway entrance. We have a vault, a cooker, a grill, a preserving bin, 4 refrigerators, another refrigerator hidden back here, an egg incubator, a beehive, another heavy. Over here we have our crafting station. Up here we have a grinder, we have 2 indie forges, 3 chem benches, 3 indie forges, and then we have 3 fabricators. Coming up here up to the second layer, this is our main kind of log out area. Up here we have 5 vaults, 1 mannequin, and then a bunch of room for maybe raising some dinos. It's really up to you. And then up here on the third layer we have our generator, then we have a bed, and then 2 refrigerators up here. But anyways, that's it for this design. Let's move on to number 2. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 40.2 latitude and 31.0 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the floating island. The floating island has actually over 35 rat holes, believe it or not, which is actually pretty insane. I just learned that. But anyways, over here is our rat hole. Rat hole is pretty close to the lake, a little bit off to the side right here on the ceiling. Now this rat hole is pretty well known. However, if you can build this thing right, it is very hard to raid. But for people that do not know, there is a pretty much invisible rat hole right here. Now this is not mesh related at all, other than you actually getting into this little kind of area, but you are not able to get into the mesh like at all, which is awesome. ARK still hasn't patched this, which is actually pretty cool because they managed to patch a lot of the rat holes that are like pretty insane, and especially the ones that are kind of like mesh holes. But anyways, inside we have a nice little area. It's not the biggest, but not the smallest. So if you're a solo, it makes for an amazing spot right there. And then up here we have our second layer. The second layer is another good spot, and this is probably where we're going to be putting all of our main stuff because we do need some base defenses, of course, on the first layer. So, and then we also have a little third room back here, but it is a little bit tricky to get into, and it's really just not convenient at all. Now here is the full base design. As you can see with the exterior, I decided to not put anything on the outside because putting things on the outside would really give away the spot to players who do not know about it. Anyways, coming over here on the entrance, as you can see, you still cannot see anything until you are right about here. Then you can see 1 heavy, and even then it's going to be a little tricky for a player to see it. Now believe it or not, those heavies can actually shoot down that little hallway, which is awesome. So if someone's trying to like rocket run, which you can't even rocket run because you have to be crouching, it would be pretty awesome. So in here we have 3 different layers of turrets. We have ones on the ground, ones in the middle, and then ones on top. There's about 32 heavies in here, I believe, and then we have our entrance on the second layer, just to kind of help so that players can't blow it up and then easily just run inside. Now over here we have it double layered right there. Then we have one of our first electrical jennies right there, and then we have a vault right here for just miscellaneous items. Now coming up this ladder will lead you up into the second area. You can jump up on this ladder and then go through the trapdoor, and you're greeted with the main area. You have 4 refrigerators, a cryo fridge, an egg incubator, a cooker, then you have a campfire, an indie forge, 2 smithies, 2 chem benches, a preserving bin, a bed, 4 fabricators, 5 vaults, and then you have a generator back there in the back. So it makes for a pretty good spot for a smaller tribe like a solo or a duo. But anyways, that's it for this one. Let's move on to number 1. And coming at number 1, this can be found at 25.0 latitude and 89.2 longitude. And here it is on the map. This can be found on the far right side of the map underneath Tropical Island North. Now this rat hole is kind of in a cave in a way, but it's actually in one of the underwater bubbles. Now, the reason why I want to build this one in here is because it is technically a rat hole in here, but also not to mention you cannot use flyers in here, you cannot use rock columns in here, you cannot use reapers in here unless you teleport them in, and most soakers you just cannot even get into the bubble at all unless you teleport it in, which is pretty insane. So no matter how you build this, it is pretty insane. The only downside is that it is 6x damage, but anyways, the rat hole is up there in the ceiling, and it is very high up and very hard to raid. And here is the full base design. As you can see on the bottom, I decided to go ahead and put a skeleton tower. This just kind of helps out for the defense, so of course this is meant for anybody who has a higher turret limit, unlike me, because for some reason on single player servers to this day we still do not have an option to basically put the turret limit up. So if you guys know any mods, please comment that down below because I can't find any. But anyways, on top of the skeleton tower, it is attached to this other tower that is up here. And this hanging tower is also attached to the cliff platforms, meaning that if the tower falls, this will stay up. Over here, we have a kind of a weird little turret tower, I guess you want to call it. It's like a double-sided like kind of wall in a way. That's got some turrets on it. It basically helps to defend the cliff platforms from up top. And then we have a duplicate of that over there, but with a few more heavies on it. Up there, we have our tech bubble, which I will get to that in a second. But this entire area up here is being supported using cliff platforms. In the middle right here, we have our hatch frames, which actually you kind of have to put hatch frames for it to work because you kind of run out of kind of area to put ceilings. Anyways, up here we have a giant crafting station with indie forges, chem benches, fabricators, jetty storages, and 2 replicators, and also 2 grinders. In the middle, we have our giant metal hatch frames, and then a giant vault wall. Over here, we have our tech teleporter, and then a tech jenny. That is one of 2 tech jennies. That tech jenny can just power the entire right side, and the tech jenny back here can power the entire left side. Anyways, we have incubators, refrigerators, preserving bins, a feeding trough, a grill, a cooker, and then some more refrigerators back here. This tech bubble is basically making sure that nobody can get in the main room. We also have some more vaults, we have some beds, and then there's our second generator. Now up here is our little hidden area, which is our good little like logout room with all the good stuff in it. This is where you're going to be pretty much sleeping and keeping all your really good stuff. But anyways, that's it for today's video. We hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.